Hi guys, welcome back to the Cake Lady podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Encircled Throne. They are a metal band from northern Mississippi. Um, we were supposed to do it yesterday, but we both got caught at work, so um, whew, this week has not been it for me. They just released a single. I'm trying to find it. I had it saved. They just released their single "Lost Under Scarred Thoughts." I've listened to it. I do like it. So stay tuned till the end to hear that recording track. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna send them the meeting link in a couple minutes, and they will be here soon. Yeah, soon. Stay tuned for Band of the Week on Tuesday. My updated weekly songs to keep my serotonin up on Wednesday. And I have cake deliveries lined up next month, so stay tuned for those too. I'm gonna try to remember to film myself cooking them and then, posting them. My recording thing is like blinking and I don't know why. I'm shedding. Um, so yeah, I'll figure that out hopefully. Oh, I'm lagging. Oh no, I don't know. All right, I will be back in a few minutes. Okay. Hopefully that works. I tried to record my intro and it kept blinking at me, and I was like, no.
Just gave me alert saying recording in progress, so I guess
Okay.
something worked.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get woke up myself.
Oh yeah. I just got off third shift, so I've been awake, but
Yeah, third shift is something else. I don't miss that.
I'm allowed to sleep on third shift with my client, but there was a storm last night and it was like I was like freaking out because like the lights the first time no forewarning, just went out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to get murdered. And then it just like it happened twice more. And I every single time I'm like, I'm gonna die. That was fun.
Come on, microphone, sit still. There.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Joseph. I am the minds and voice behind Encircled Throne. A lot of people call me Mojo because I also have Mojo Studios on there. And I don't know what to say.
I like your shirt. Local band smoke out. They're great.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of theirs.
Oh yeah. They're awesome. I wish I was 21 so I could just, I'd start giving people
Mississippi, it's not
edibles.
really it's not really allowed yet in Mississippi.
Oh yeah. I forget you're in Mississippi. It's just
I think we
weird
have
that
um
I talk to people in different time zones all the time. So when I find someone in my time zone, I'm like, you're like 2 hours ahead of me.
yeah, I think we have medical now, but I don't think it has fully legalized anything.
We'll get
So,
there. Ooh, I like for a sec. Okay. Can you tell
yep.
me can you tell me the history behind Encircled Throne?
Well, there's not much to it since it's just me. I started this idea, I guess, back in January-ish, trying to really get it going. I think the Facebook's been around for a little bit longer, but I haven't really tried to fully start releasing stuff. I thought released 5 tracks back in February, and then I took them all down and re-released them with better mixes and stuff. But that's pretty much where I'm at now. I've got a full length album that I'm working on that's not entirely ready yet. The video and single that I dropped on Monday is the first track from it.
That's awesome. I mean, I've seen you like I know you've gained a lot of traction. I think I followed you for a minute. Um, so like it's nice to see the progression happening, even though you've only been doing it like a short while.
Yeah, I've only been trying to get it, I guess, moving for a short while. I mean, like I said, I think I made the Facebook some point last year, but that was just to kind of hold the name. But thankfully, Encircled Throne, actually, I've not ran into the issues of anyone else having the name like a lot of people have the
Yeah,
problem of.
that's like I don't know. It's a very unconventional name. I definitely have never heard anything like it before. How did you like settle on that name?
Revelations 4:3. It's
Oh,
I forget exactly the verse, and I really should honestly have it there because every time I get asked this question about where it came from. um, but in there, it's talking about a throne that is encircled. So I literally just swapped the words around and made it encircled throne.
so are you like very religious? Like moderately religious?
Faithful, not religious.
That's a good answer.
I have a
Yeah.
lot of issues with how certain modern day Christians and stuff handle situations. Like I'm very much a believer in live and let live and just love anybody. I don't really care what other people's background
Yeah.
is. I mean, I don't
I mean,
attack
like at
anybody
this
for
point,
anything that they're doing.
I'm more of a like, I'll listen to the word, but the people,
Yeah. I've always had a big problem with kind of church situations and the hypocrisy of it. So I mean, I get why there's a lot of people who are standoffish on it, but
yeah, I think it's more accepted nowadays to just, not have a religion than it is to be religious.
yeah.
Um, would you say like, would you say your faith, like influences the way you write your music sometimes?
Maybe not the instrumental portion, but definitely like the lyrics. I mean, everything in like the first few songs I released either has something to do with a personal belief or a personal stance on something. The new album, a lot of people haven't noticed this yet, but the actual name, Lost Under Scarred Thoughts, if you watch till the end of the video, you'll see it's actually an acronym for the word lust.
Oh,
The new album I'm doing is actually going to be a Seven Deadly Sins album,
oh,
but I'm
that's
using
so
acronyms
cool.
for all the names. So it definitely influences me lyrically. But
So are
I mean,
are you gonna do an acronym for gluttony?
I
That's
did.
that's a
That
very
was
long name.
that was actually not as hard. For some reason, envy actually was the hardest for me to come up with. But I do have acronyms for all of them. And gluttony, yes, it's very was very long. Let me see. I got my notes here somewhere. Um, great longing, utterly tasteless. That obsession never yields.
That is a long name. And going right up there with like the 2000s names.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like paragraph names,
Yeah, like
which I
you
don't
know what they
mind. I
do to
mean,
guys like
I
us in
I
prison.
loved
Yeah.
I loved all that stuff. Yeah,
I
I
I
mean, I
like the
loved all that
names that are
stuff. So
like I like the names that are just like, the song has like one specific meaning, but then you like look at the name and it's something completely unrelated. Like my mom grounded me for
yeah,
not doing my homework.
yeah. It's like, man, I don't the song that it talked about this. I don't know, dude. The name is something, I hijacked a car once or something like that.
Um, Encircled Throne. Was there like another name that you were like ever deciding on? Was it always Encircled Throne, or was it like, oh, this sounds cool too?
For this adventure, no. I mean, I've had other band names. Like one of them, I had that I was trying to do like a little punk metal stuff. Like right before this was just called Well dot dot dot,
Are you a
and it's just
welder?
because it's something that no, like just Well. Well,
Oh, I thought you said weld.
I could do like well.
Well,
um, yeah, that exactly. Um, but for this current thing, no, it was just I knew I wanted it to have some sort of reference. I mean, I dove through Revelations a good bit, and it was the first thing that hit me, so I kind of just stopped.
yeah, I pulled up the verse. Yeah, I don't think it was 4:3. A rainbow round about the throne. Roundabout throne. That would have been a good name, Roundabout Throne.
Roundabout, yeah.
um,
I guess it depends on which version it is, because I know the one that I looked up, I can't remember which version it was from. It actually had encircled or encircling, I think, not really encircled.
now I'm like trying to find it because now I'm interested. What do you say? Oh, I found it. So it's not the King James version, the most
It's
popular version.
I think it's Revelations 4:3 is where it came from.
Yeah, I found it. It talks about rocks. I love rocks. So what would you say?
That's definitely
Like you
not the version I
said,
use. First one you go to.
the one I found was the one seated there looked like jasper and carnelian, and a rainbow that gleamed like an emerald encircled the throne. It gives me major Wizard of Oz
Yeah, that one.
vibes.
Because I think I've actually got my new headline picture as an emerald throne.
It's so cool.
I think I do. I know I made a picture
Okay.
for it.
What would you say like influences your music the most? Like you mentioned hypocrisy. So like was there like a personal experience with that or was it like, you know, from the outside looking in?
Um, yeah, I definitely had a lot of personal experiences with being treated ugly in a church. Like one, I actually had a guy ask me to play drums for their little praise band. So I went and I played the drums for it, and I went to go sit down. And then, like in the movie Forrest Gump, where everybody's like seats taken, I literally like was like walking up the aisle, and everyone was doing that, making it where I couldn't sit down for some reason. So I just like walked out the back door.
I would have too at that point.
but but I mean, lyrically for the new album, I mean, there's no, I guess, I mean, other than just being familiar with the sins and having my own issues there. Um, but some of the original stuff, like "A Place to Belong," the one you said you were your favorite, was just I started going to a church, and it was actually I wrote the song and then started going there, and apparently that was also their motto. So I thought that was kind of funny. But it was mainly, that one is just saying that everyone is actually welcome, regardless of what you've done and what you did. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be about love. It's not supposed to be you being a perfect person,
Crimson
because
Tide.
you're never going to be perfect. Yeah.
I'm from Alabama, so I love that we're talking about coincidences and then that. So
Yeah, I'm a
um
big SEC football fan.
yes. So for like the seven deadly sins, was like did you take inspiration from like the way other things have like embodied it, I would guess, like TV shows and stuff when they like, show those. There's always like a different
Uh,
version going on. But like, did you take inspiration from those or like strictly from your own mind?
I did three main things with it. The first one is, yes, my own thoughts on it. The second one, I included biblical verses throughout each of them, and the third, I'm a big anime fan, so the show Full Metal Alchemist,
Oh
it
yes.
it has references to them, like in Lust, the first release, the very last part, I'm saying gouge out your eyes. That's a biblical vine, but the
Ooh.
burn the temptress to her
Ooh.
is, if anyone's seen the show, Lust dies by fire on her knees. So that's actually what that reference is for.
So you're a huge anime fan. Well, instead of Full Metal Alchemist, I would have expected, the Seven Deadly Sins. So
I've actually never watched that one.
I think I've seen like a couple
I
episodes.
watch
I think I see more
Full Metal a lot.
memes and like clips of it than you know, you see it enough, you just don't want to watch the show anymore because it's like I know what goes on.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that's a really
yeah.
cool
I'm
idea.
a big
Plus,
fan of Full
like,
Metal, so I just kind of pulled it from there.
yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Like, using Bible verses because instead of like taking what others have taught you, it's like, reclaiming it as, your own personal idea.
Yeah.
I think that, I think that personalizes faith.
Well, again, I'm not very religious, so that's the only way I can interpret it, is
Yeah.
my own way and my own thoughts. I mean, I googled a bunch of like verses and stuff like that, trying to pull from which ones I thought were the best.
Yeah. I've read
But
the
that
Bible
is one line, I
so many
believe.
times.
Um, I'm not that good at it. um, I've listened to it once on
Yeah.
an audio thing on Spotify, but the
I
in Lust, the
yeah, I
gouge your eyes
cannot
out.
read
That's,
like,
I think that
the King
Jesus saying
James
that.
version is like the words like
Stereo
thy and
instructions.
thee and like I can't do it. So like I
Yeah.
like reading the modern versions, especially when I was a kid, you get the kid Bible with the like simplified
Yeah.
stories. That was always my go-to 'cause, it made it more interesting too cuz like, you take out all the weird like scripture part and the
Yeah.
stanzas.
It's all about the understanding, not just like reading it. Because, like you said, reading the
Yeah.
thy and thee, and you're like, I don't understand what you're trying to say.
You're using big words on a Sunday afternoon like
And especially going through I think it's Numbers, when they're just like going down the line of
yes,
family and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what this is.
Abraham, son of, whoever,
Yeah.
son of, another guy.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
you give us the big ticket people and then you give us the lineage and it's like you didn't mention any of these guys. Why are they important?
Yeah.
Um Look at my questions. Are there other bands or I would say like genres of music that influence the way you write your own music? Or do you just like, take it from everywhere?
I mean, I guess it's definitely taken from everywhere. I don't like sit and listen to certain bands. I know Lust is definitely, that intro is very much influenced by Chelsea Grin, but it wasn't just a purposeful take from, like, especially the first five, where I was just kind of playing on my guitar and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Let's do this. Let's do this. I mean, some of the newer album is definitely is pulled more from other people, just to try to
Yeah.
more of what I wanted to do, more or less. Like the first five, it was just okay. Well, these just kind of worked. They flowed out. This is what I ended up with. I really wanted to try a lot harder, I guess, on the album. So I tried to focus on what other things are working for other people, and then stuff that I really like out of bands, like the strings and stuff. I like that myself. So I try to make sure I added that this time around,
Yeah.
instead of just, because those first five, I mean, I wrote those, some of them 2 years ago. One, Rectify the Situation, I wrote when I was like 16, 17. I mean, it definitely changed since then, but
Yeah.
the base premise of it was written way back when.
What would you say that, being just you, would you say it's like, easier to produce music because you don't feel like so much pressure to get it done?
The pressure to get it done is still there. Like I really want to hopefully have this album out in the next 2 months, or at least
Yeah.
in the process of releasing the singles. Like let's just happen to get done. So I was like, okay, I want to go ahead and release it because I want to start teasing people, what the new sound is.
Yeah.
But from the writing aspect, it's harder. Like I always enjoyed having a band to sit there and you can bounce out ideas off somebody else. Like you come up with a
Yeah.
riff and somebody's like, "Hey, actually, this will be good for it." Like it takes me a lot longer. I feel like to write now than what it did when I had full bands back in
Yeah.
the day.
Well, I think there's also the aspect of like, how like an artist, when they do a painting, like you look at it and it's the prettiest thing ever, but they look at it and they can see every single thing they did wrong with it too.
Yeah, then like, "Hey, man, you should have added birds in this top right
Yeah.
corner." Like, yeah,
So it's just like,
because
like, trying to think, what is that word? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe
I am
like,
working with a guy who's in Illinois,
ooh,
Indiana. I can't remember where he is. He's up there. Um,
somewhere. I might know him. Who
uh,
knows?
uh, Austin Huey, Aussie Bear. Um, he's been helping me write this album a lot, so it's been nice to have his expertise and stuff. Because I mean, I mix and master my own stuff, and I do it for a lot of other bands too with the Mojo Studios thing. But like when it comes to my own, like it's like a mental block almost. I can't produce my own music.
Yeah. It's
Everything
like
everything I do,
writer's
I just like,
block,
that just
but it's worse
that
because you're the one doing everything.
yeah. When I do it for somebody else's music, I'm like, oh yeah, this will be cool. This will be cool. This sounds
Yeah.
good. All right, I'm done. Do it for mine. I'm like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to do. I finish
Do
it
you
up.
ever
I'm like,
like
actually, this still
finish a
sucks.
project and then you're like laying in bed and you're immediately like, I could have done better.
Yep.
But
The
kind of
first
like
five
imposter,
actually.
it's kind of like imposter syndrome, but not.
Yeah.
There's a word for
The
it. I
the first
know.
five actually was the same way because like I said, I released them back in February and then took them all back down and
Yeah.
re-released them with better stuff because I
Yeah.
was never happy with how it sounded.
I just talked to a band who did that. Like, they come back and they like take everything down, but mostly just to like make the audio better, like the
Yeah.
quality, I guess, would it be?
Yeah, that's
That's
one of
funny.
the reasons why I did it was fully for the quality aspect of it all.
Yeah. Have you ever like performed your songs live? I mean, it would be harder with just one person, I would think.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Oop.
The current stuff, no, it hasn't been performed live. I got some guys that I've talked to about if I ever get a show, like especially if I get like a festival lined up that will play it with me. But this current stuff, no, I've unfortunately it hasn't been able to be performed live yet.
Well, hopefully that changes. I know there's a lot of festivals. I did not
Played plenty of
realize,
shows, but just not with
yeah,
this thing.
I did not realize how many festivals happened a year until like, really getting into the music scene. And I'm not even, a musician, really. So like I get like all those ads and I'm like, there's like 7 festivals on the same day.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's mainly what I want to try to get on if I actually am able to play live is more of a
Yeah.
festival situation than just playing locally around here. My
Yeah.
local
Show up for
music
the
scene is
people.
kind of dead, and it's been that way for over a decade.
I feel like festivals also have like they also have like a guaranteed audience. Because like if you just do a local gig, it's strictly based on, who's heard of you before and if they're in the state.
My 5 friends showed up, yay!
Yeah. Oh my God, my mom's here.
Yeah, yeah. I've played those shows. I mean, I've been doing playing gigs since I was 15. I've definitely had my fair share of. All right, cool. There's 5 people here,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've played some bigger ones, for a couple hundred people, but
Yeah. I feel like the audience
never
size
got never
wouldn't
got to play
matter
the
if
festival.
the like, they bring the energy.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely a lot more fun
it's like 10
for
o'clock on a
the
weekday and they're like, why am I still here?
yeah. Yeah. I never under those shows are always hard. Like
Yes.
Tuesday or Thursday, you're like, dude, I gotta get up and go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I just want to go. Yeah, definitely something
trying to
I've
stay up for
learned recently when going to, a lot of concerts is I need to start taking the day off after the concert because I'm just not going to be able to do it.
yeah, or at least be prepared to, be dead the
Yeah.
next day.
Buy a monster, just wing it.
Can't drink those things. They make me so jittery and anxious.
Either
Like they don't wake
I
me
don't
up either. They
like
just
I tried a
make
normal
me on edge.
monster one time and it tasted like straight battery acid and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dying." I have these Celsiuses.
Yeah.
It's like at least they're not, a lot of caffeine and they taste better. But
Yeah.
even still, I'm like one a day, maybe. I'm more of a coffee person, so
Drink a lot of tea.
yeah. It's not even just like the caffeine in coffee. I could drink decaf and probably wake up. It's the taste. It's like, jolts you.
Yeah.
Just like I can't stand soda, but the fizz is what gets me.
The bubbles.
Carbonated. Like if sparkling water tasted better, I could wake up with sparkling water. Okay,
Yeah, I've never thankfully been that have to have coffee to wake up in the morning, and I just wake up, roll out of bed, and go to work.
I wish if I'm not going to work, well, like if I'm not at work, I'm going to work. And if I'm not going to work, I'm sleeping between work. It's like, woo.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two more questions. So you say you would prefer festivals. So if you were involved in a festival and you could have any living band in that festival lineup, who would you want to be in that show?
um, man, well, my favorites, I guess, would be different than what maybe goes along with me,
Yeah.
but it'd be cool to play with somebody like Impending Doom, especially considering they are another Christian band. I mean, I
Oh
love
yeah.
Chelsea Grin. I love Bring Me the Horizon. Um,
There's some skillet in there just because.
Wage War.
I've just
That
started
can open.
listening to Wage War and I'm kind of upset that I've, slept on them this long.
They're good. They're
Yes.
incredible live. I saw them 4 years ago in North Carolina on a festival, and they were absolutely incredible. Them and Beartooth was pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
And I got to see Meshuggah. I went blank. They
Meshuggah.
they sounded. I know you've had to have heard Meshuggah.
I've heard of them.
At least the song.
It's just not
At least the
coming to my
song.
life, like
Um,
my brain.
at least the song "Bleed" that has that weird syncopation at the beginning of it.
I can tell you for sure. I've
They
never heard a
they
song called "Bleed" before, but I've
well, you
heard of
need to look that
Meshuggah.
up. It's definitely one of those a lot of people try to play and stuff and can't do it, especially the drummer.
So,
But I don't know, there's a lot of bands.
yeah, I like asking people that because, like, first it tells you a lot about what kind of music they're into, and also like who their favorites are. Because if they can come up with an answer off the top of their head, they listen to the same five bands every day, and I will find them.
I'm bad. I'm bad about that. Those kinds of questions though, just because like I listen to like one or two songs by a lot of people.
Yeah, and then it's like,
Like I
oh,
mean, my
I
my
like that band now.
playlists are just
I've yeah,
all
I've
over the
only heard
place.
two Beartooth songs and like I love them, but I've only heard two songs.
I'm actually a big emo kid. I just can't write emo music, but I write metal, so that's what ends up I end up doing.
I felt that.
Because like
I'm running out of
Taking
time.
Back Sunday, the early November, I see that
Yeah.
early November stuff like that. I mean, that's actually where my probably my heart would be, but
Yeah.
I can't write it. I can't write emo music to save my life.
Right. I'm like, I could probably write an emo song. I'm depressed enough. But, then there's just like, what rhymes with this word? Because like a lot of those depressive feelings are just big words.
Yeah, I feel that. And I got plenty going on there. It's just, but none of it ever actually can translate. Like I've never been good with like describing that. So that's like, for
Yes.
example, why I have the Seven Deadly Sins album. I'm not, personally describing my personal issues has never been an easy thing. So
Yes. That is for therapy only. Okay, my last question is, I'm the cake lady, so I deliver cakes to, bands at shows. So if I were to catch you at a show one day, what type of cake would you want?
it's gonna hurt your feelings, but I'm not really big into cake.
I'm not either.
Now,
So,
now, if you can make a killer brownie,
oh my God,
like
I'm so
that
good at
that is what
brownies.
that is what I would really want. Like I mean, I'm all right with like chocolate cake or something like
Yeah,
that. I mean, but
I'm so
like
good at
if you
brownies.
really want like my sweet tooth, like a brownie, that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
See, the biggest scandal with me is I'm not even a cake person either. I just, I'm good at making them. I'm a cookie person. I love cookies. But the
Cookies
cookie
good.
lady sounds, a little bit like I'm a stoner.
Well.
Scandal of the year. Cake lady is not like cake.
Be careful what you eat in that cake.
Right? Okay. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
Sorry about last night. Last night was busy.
I get home to like after 7 o'clock myself, so I feel you. And 100
Yeah,
degree heat working outside all day.
I
Yeah,
got
no.
home and I was immediately just like, I need a nap before work. I'm not gonna make it.
I don't
Okay.
blame you at all.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on today. I'm putting your new single at the end
Thank you
of
for
this.
having me.
So, too.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome. Have a good day. You're in the
You
same
too.
time zone. I can say that now.
Yep.
You guys again for tuning into the Cake Lady podcast. That was Encircled Throne, and this is their song, Boss Underscore Thought. And keep an eye out for the upcoming album, and tune in Tuesdays and Wednesdays for Band of the Week and Top Songs of the Week. And tune in next week for another episode. Thank you guys again so much for the support.